What's up, guys? How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I am okay. It's been a little while since I posted here on the channel, but I am so happy to be back. I took a week away from my normal routine, and we were traveling. The travel video will be linked, or I will post it pretty soon actually. So I wanted to talk about GERD, which is also known as gastroesophageal reflux disease, or to put it simply, it is acid reflux, or when you experience heartburn so many times. If you're a person who has a backwash when you eat, then this video is for you, because I was also there and I understand how you feel. I know it can be really uncomfortable and painful, and so I decided to sit down and talk a little bit about GERD, or acid reflux. If you have been with this condition for some time, you will notice that you must have noticed that there's a pattern. So it's just some kind of feeling that you feel on your upper stomach. And sometimes it can even be something good, maybe some kind of vegetable. For example, there's a Kenyan indigenous vegetable. Should I call it indigenous? Well, okay. It's called saga or chinsaga. If you're from the tribe of Kisi, you know what I mean, but many people call it saga, and this is one of the causes. Most people, when they eat this, they have like a heartburn. At around 9 years old, I started experiencing some kind of stomach pain. To this day, I am not completely sure what it was. Maybe it was genetic, or maybe it was something I ate. But anyway, that is a story for another day. I'll have to sit down with my mom for that. But it was so bad, believe me, that I would literally do nothing but lie, because when you have the pain in your stomach, you can't do anything. I think it's better to have a headache than a stomachache, if you ask me, because a headache is more manageable, but a stomachache is something else. Anybody who has issues with their stomachs will understand me. So this continued on and we assumed that this would be, or this could be, ulcers. So I was medicating on majorly omeprazole, and when I was about 13 to 14 years old, when I just joined high school, the problem kept persisting, but I assumed it. I was like, well, it's just who I am, just living through it. And I went through high school with the same issue, but I didn't think too much on it because I thought a lot on my studies. And so I spent a lot of time trying to complete my studies, trying to do my best, everything about that. And it's high school, so you have a little more distractions. So the problem re-evolved or it came back when I went to campus. So in campus, I was by myself. I had a roommate, but my family is far away from me, and I have to go through life by myself, and nothing much changed. I didn't magically heal, or I didn't stop taking the pill. I was using the pills as a way of elevating, as a way of reducing my pain. This one time that I was at my sister's place and it was so bad, I had to go to the doctor. I went, I did the checks that they required of me, took my stool to the laboratory, and they found nothing. There was not even the H. pylori bacteria, So they were kind of confused. They told me that there's nothing wrong with me. They couldn't find anything, but they gave me some medication, and it was a liquid, an acid suppressor. So the liquid will suppress the acid in my stomach so that I will not feel the pain. But that is what the problem is, because your stomach needs that acid. You need that HCl acid in order to grind the food that you're eating. So fast forward, I'm now from Kenya. I have gone for my further studies to Poland, and I still have the same problem. Yeah, my friends knew that I have this condition because it's really hard to hide it. You can't hide it because you know that there's some things you cannot eat because of your stomach. And I was still using omeprazole here in Poland, but the difference is, in Kenya, you can get any amount of omeprazole that you want. 500 milligrams, 1000 milligrams, you can get it all. You just give the money and they give it to you. In Poland, it's totally different. The highest amount I could get without a prescription is 20 milligrams of omeprazole. So that was not helping at all because I was used to take 500 milligrams of omeprazole, 500 once or twice a day. So lowering it to 20 didn't mean that it would be any better, obviously. So it persisted on until 2018. Something changed in my life. Yeah. So I began to read more about the Bible. I began to read more about diet and everything that it has to say. And I also had a few books from Ellen White that I was reading. And before I even get to that place, let me flash back a little. So before coming to Poland, I didn't go to church. Let me not I didn't go to church at all. It wasn't a thing. Yeah. So Saturday would come, I would just do my thing. When I was in campus, maybe I'll go out and have a good time, Yeah, but church was not my priority, so God wasn't my priority as well. But when I came to Poland, something changed. Let me just put it that way. Something changed, and I began to have a closer and deeper relationship with God. It's even interesting because here in Poland, majority of the people are Catholic, yeah? Well, I was born going to church on Sunday, but really there came a time in my life when I changed to going to Saturday, and then I stopped. I didn't go at all. So when I came to Poland, we were hosted by a church, and that church was the Seventh-day Adventist church in the city that we were in, and it's the only Adventist church in the city. Yes, that's how few Adventists there are in Poland. So we were hosted by the church, and every Saturday we were hosted by them for 2 weeks, for a week actually, yeah, because we hadn't a place to stay, and we were so many of us, so we didn't have a place to stay, and we couldn't stay outside. And thankfully we googled on the maps a church, and when we went there on one Saturday, they asked us, "Oh, do you have a place to stay? When did you come? Do you have clothes? Do you have food?" And we're like, "Oh, no, we don't have any, we don't have a place to stay." Of course, we had food. Okay, we didn't even know which food to buy, but we had clothing for sure, and they had to guide us on the foods. We didn't know what food to eat because their cuisine is totally different from what we're used to. So they told us that they would give us a place to stay downstairs. Downstairs in the church building, there's a place where you can sleep. There's a washroom, and there's also a kitchen that is fully equipped. So if you can stay there. So they said, "You can stay there." And we said, "Okay, thank you." So that is how it all began. And from then on, every Saturday, we would go to church. My cousins and I would go to church, my friends also. And that is how it began. And when I was in because, in the Seventh-day Adventist church, there is first you start with the Sabbath school, and then you go into the main service, and then in the afternoon you can either come back for Bible studies or for singing, or maybe go and visit some people. It depends on the church and how they do it. Yeah. So here I found that they were studying the book of Revelation, and let me tell you, I have never ever understood the book of Revelation the way I understood it. I know maybe for most of you, actually for most people, the book of Revelation is a pretty scary book, and it was the same for me. You know, I read it just once, but also just a few verses, and it was the place where the beast is rising up from the sea. And you know, you would imagine that it's a real beast, and the way it's described, and you're saying, wow, this beast is coming out of a literal sea. But I came to learn that that is not it. All those things are symbolic of kingdoms or rulers of the world that were and will be. But anyway, that is a story for another day. If you want me to tell about Revelation or the book of Revelation, let me know. So fast forward, I'm learning, I'm discovering things in the Bible, and I'm like, wow, prophecy is real. And you know, that is what hooked me, because I'm in Europe. All those things that were written in the book of Revelation and Daniel, they happened in Europe. And if I want, I can go and see. And when I go and see, I verify that it is true. When I look when I look at their books or in their books, I see that it's the same. The history is the same as the Bible. And I was so excited, and I'm like, wow, this is the church, you know, because if you can predict things that happened, or if the Bible can say things happen this way and they did happen this way, then it must be true. And if it can predict the future and the future happens as it predicted, then it is true. So this is what hooked me to the Bible. And I started studying much more on other topics. So about food, about clothing, about love, about marriage, about anything that I could find my hands on. I looked for it and searched for it with all my heart, honestly. So when it came to the topic of food, it was really important for me because it touches a place in my heart. And this is what I mean. So when I was studying through, I came to find out that all diseases, or most of all diseases, start either in the mind or by the things that we're eating. So you have these two major things that cause diseases. One is the mind, and the second one is the food that you're putting into your body. So these are the two major causes of diseases for most people. And I slowly started to learn that the things that I was putting into my body, no, my body was already telling me, Barbara, this is not what I need, this is not what I want. But I didn't listen to it. You know, I even learned that you can learn to listen to your own body, that your body can tell you if something is wrong, which is amazing. Yeah, because now I knew that there's something I can change. And you know, previously I was thinking, oh, I'm just stuck with this condition, you know. And if you ask me, I would say, oh, well, it's hereditary, or this is just something that, you know, I was born with, or I'm like this from the beginning. And I came to learn that everything can be changed. Your condition can be healed. So right now, as we're speaking, I am completely healed. I no longer have those heartburns or anything of that kind. But there's one thing. Your body now becomes more sensitive. And by more sensitive, I mean it's able to detect what works well for you or what doesn't for you. So now I even have should I call it a higher sense of knowledge about my body, because if I eat something and my stomach is like, no, please don't do that again, I'm saying, oh, okay, yeah, I get you. You do not want that, we can move to something else. And that is what helped me. That is what helped me heal my condition. And then, you cannot just fix the physical and leave the mental out of it, because your physical body and your mental body, they are interconnected. So have had fixed my I fixed my physical body by changing my diet. First, I started by dropping the red meat because I noticed red meat is making me feel some kind of way that I don't like. So I dropped red meat completely. And I was having just white meat and fish. Oh, fish is also white meat. So I was having white meat, and then I dropped some white meat. So I dropped the chicken and left the fish. And then slowly I dropped the fish and remained with eggs. I don't drink milk. I don't like milk at all. I think it's a family thing. Nobody in our family likes milk. So that was like easy going for me. I don't even like butter as well. So the only thing that remained was the eggs, and slowly I dropped the eggs as well. Remember, when I am dropping these things, I'm not just leaving myself without anything to eat. I'm adding in more fruits, I'm adding in more grains, more lentils, more beans, slowly, and more vegetables. Yeah, so you don't just drop things, you add more things. Yeah, because if you just drop and add nothing, it will be detrimental to you. Yeah, so my physical body is fixed. Now I know the food that I can eat. Now I know the time that I should eat, and that is also important. Now I also know the amount of food to eat, because that is also important. If you overeat, you will overwork your stomach, and that is also one of the leading causes of GERD or acid reflux. Now what remains is fixing my mentality. You know, there's something that happens when you're sick. You tend to remain in that space that you're sick. I don't know if it has happened to you, but it happens to most people. You're so used to you being sick that you don't change the mentality that you can be healed or you are healed. So I was healed physically. Yes, I am healed physically, but because my mental attitude is still the one of sickness, just telling myself, I'm sick, I can't this, I can't have this, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. Then that even causes more damage, yeah? So you are healed, but you're not even healed, because your mind is telling you, your body that, no, she's not healed. But your body is arguing, no, she's healed. I did the work yesterday, I sent some cells there and the cells fixed the problem. And the mind is like, no, she's telling me that she's not healed. So you see, there's that mind and body connection, which is critical. So that is what remained, fixing my mentality and learning to adapt a new and a positive mind. So how did I go about this, you may ask? Because if you ask me, this is the hardest part of the game. You can change your diet, you can cook all the good foods, you can do everything well, exercise, drink water, pray, you can do all those kinds of things. But if your mind is still telling you negative or is still reading negativity, it all avails to nothing. And I started telling myself and claiming verses from the Bible that help my mind to reinterpret the situation as healed. So for example, my favorite verse was in Isaiah 53. Isaiah 53. Give me a minute, let me get the Bible.
A few moments later.
My main verse, or a verse that really helped me go through this time or this period of changing my mind, is in Isaiah 53, verse 4 and verse 5. So it says, "Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten of God and afflicted. But he was wounded for Barbara's transgression. He was bruised for Barbara's iniquities. The chastisement of Barbara's peace was upon him, and with his stripes Barbara is healed." So I started reading my Bible this way. I read a verse and I place my name in the verse where it says, you or thee or I or him, just the pronouns, I replace that with my name. And I found out that when I read these verses out aloud and place my name in them, I believe them more. So this is the formula that I use to believe or to change my mind to thinking, and not to thinking, but to accepting that I am healed. Because you have to accept that you are healed, you have to change or renew your mind so that you think the positive things, you think the good things. And the good thing is that you have been healed. And this can be proven to be true because when people came to Jesus and they wanted him to heal them. For example, that woman that had a flow of blood for 12 years and went and touched the hem of Jesus' garment. Well, the woman believed that if I may only touch his garment, I will be healed. Yeah. So you have to believe that you are healed or you will be healed, because your mind is going to interpret what you put in, and you put food into your mind by thinking. So simply put, it is what you think. So what do you think? Do you think that you are healed? Do you think that you are not healed? The Bible is your guide. The Bible is your everything. This is the only way you can feed your mind and feed it in the right way. Yeah? So go to the Bible, just go to the internet, look up verses that speak about healing. Look up verses that say that you are healed or you will be healed. Claim them for yourself. Put your name on these verses because they are yours. And this is what the Lord wills for you. Yeah, so that is how I changed my whole perspective. Right now, I am well off. My mind is renewed. My body is also renewed. And now I am even more aware of how to take care of my body. Of course, there's days where I may have some mishaps. For example, I may not have enough food in a particular day, but I make sure that does not happen as often. Maybe once in two weeks or once a week at most. But the thing is, you have to make an effort. You have to set apart time to learn, especially learn in the initial process of getting to heal. You have to learn. You have to put some effort to make the food. You have to look into the internet for recipes on how to make, vegan recipes or whatever kind of recipes that you're in short, it does require effort. Nothing comes without effort, and do not expect anything to come without effort. You must make the effort, and while you're making the effort, let God be your guide. Pray always, and he will guide you always. Remember, what works for you will not work for me. Same way, what works for me will not work for you. You go to God, go to him in prayer, find out what works for you, stick to that, and he will bless you. So that is my short story. That is what I was thinking about before I picked up this camera. I hope it has been a blessing to you, and if you want to share it with your loved ones, please feel free to do so. And until next time, the African Veggie signing out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, and God bless you.